Jonathan Davis is the host of the Booms and Bust podcast. Jonathan, welcome back to Talk Radio.
Hi, Mark.
First of all, what's your view of the furlough scheme altogether? Clearly, it's coming from the right place. It's about saving companies and making sure that people still might have a job and a business to return to when all of this is over.
It's all short-termist. The politicians made a decision to effectively close down the economy. So the politicians said we will fund while we've shut things down. But it's not going to stop job losses. It's not going to stop corporate bankruptcies. On the contrary, think practically about it. Any small, medium-sized company, say 20, 30 employees, they are not going, who have furloughed, say, 75% of that staff, they're not going to take them all back on when they reopen the economy. There will be a great deal of risk aversion in the economy when we reopen. People will not be buying at the same level. Business will not be being done at the same level as previously. So those small companies will take on some of the people that they furloughed, and then maybe 6-12 months later they'll take on more. No, the unemployment is going to soar, and corporate bankruptcies are going to soar because of this lockdown.
Indeed, what are the wider long-term implications? Is unemployment going to be with us for decades to come?
Absolutely, at a far greater level than we've experienced for decades. With technology and different ways of doing business that has clearly become apparent since March of this year, the level of unemployment is going to soar. It's going to stay high for many, many years because the economy is not going to grow fast once we come out of lockdown. Maybe for a few months there will be a jump, certainly, but for the longer term, it'll be a slow growth economy. That is what happens when you decimate the currency, when you borrow so much money, and so on. And as I say, on top of that, will be much higher unemployment and much higher corporate bankruptcies. So yes, the economy has been dealt a very severe blow by these political decisions.
And when you say political decisions, how might you have managed this crisis yourself if you'd been in Rishi Sunak's shoes as Chancellor?
No, not as Chancellor, as Prime Minister. I would have looked to other countries who haven't locked down. Off the top of my head, and by the way, I'm not an expert in this, South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Sweden, there are other countries which did not lock down, which managed this far more effectively, and surprisingly, they have not had the economic collapse that we are experiencing.
Is the damage done? Because we are hearing reports that the former Chancellor of the Exchequer, Sajid Javid, has been interviewed on Sky News saying the government needs to be focused now on rescuing the economy. So do you think that somehow this is salvageable?
Well, anything is salvageable. The problem is, and take this as clear as I'm saying it. Effectively, what we have now is communism. Never in history have 6 million private sector employees been paid for by a Western government. This is communism. We need to reopen the economy as quickly as possible, and the government, that is Boris Johnson and Sunak and all of these guys who think they know how to run economies, when in fact all they are here today, gone tomorrow politicians. What they need to do is stop intervening in the economy and let the economy sort itself out. That's the only way that we can get strong economic growth which is sustained. However, as I said earlier, I imagine they will do exactly what they've been doing, intervene, because ultimately they're politicians and their job is to get re-elected, and they believe the way to do that is by handing people money, which we as a country have to borrow.
Fascinating stuff. Jonathan Davis, economist and host of the Booms and Bust podcast.